Hi, I'm Georgia Bennick, and I wanted to speak with you today about my amazing experiences with equine assisted learning. I've been offering this at my middle school for the past year and a half with a character education curriculum. And one of the experiences we've had with our students was the principle of forgiveness. And in order to have kids get a locus of control of what we were talking about, in a sense of what forgiveness entails, what we had them do is each have a horse on a lead rope, and they were given water paint to use as a writing instrument to write feelings that they've had over bad things that have been said to them, or maybe bad feelings that they have about themselves, on both sides of the horse. So now with these words, these negative words that have impacted them on both sides of the horse, they were asked to walk the horse around the arena one time. After that, we grouped together and talked about what was the horse doing, what did the horse look like, and invariably the students responded in how downcast the horse's head was and how slow they were moving and not really that cooperative. They didn't really want to walk, they didn't really want to move. And then we talked about what was happening to them and their body language. And of course the horse was reading all of the body language of the student and responding in like. Then we had the kids wipe off the negative word and use the water-based paint instruments to write things that they've either heard or things that they would like to hear from significant others and peers on both sides of the horse again. And this time they walked the horse in the other direction. And what we asked the students is, what did the horse do differently? Were you doing anything differently? And of course, they tended to observe the changes in the horse before they observed them in themselves, which is the fact that the horse was carrying itself higher, lighter, walking with more ease, being more compliant and responsive to the students' requests to move forward. And then we had some dialogue about what encompasses forgiveness and what impact it has on us and what it does to our energy and what we can do about it. That's one example of equine assisted learning at my school. In terms of application for professional development, in my past two classes that I offered for ethics, I used real experiences that I've had over the past 31 years. And one of them was a staff member, a teacher, having an affair with one of our parents of a special needs student. And not all the players actually knew what was going on, but I certainly did. And when the team met, certainly there was a great deal of discomfort, and the parent was trying to get the teacher to advocate for things that really weren't relevant to the IEP or for the good of the student. And so for this exercise, I had three school psychologists play this role and for others to observe. One is called extended appendages, where one plays as the brain, and then there's a person on each side that's holding hands or locking elbows. That's an appendage. The appendages cannot speak, only the brain can speak. So the brain was directed to saddle a horse to the best of their ability. It wasn't important that they do it right or that they knew how to do it. The importance of it is that they were collectively doing it together. One person was in charge, and the other two only could do what the brain instructed it to do. The metaphor for this exercise is the feeling in that IEP meeting where you've got this stuff going on with the parent and the teacher, and the team knows, most of the team knows what's going on, and the discomfort of what's happening in that meeting, and what it's like to sit there silently when you want to speak and you can't, or you feel like you shouldn't, or it's not appropriate. It was very powerful. And after that, they had a worksheet that they had to do by themselves on what is the ethical dilemma, what do you do about it, who's the person that's in charge of reporting this? Do you talk to the teacher first, or the psychologist first, to the parent? How do you get this going, and how do you correct this behavior? It was very powerful. Another powerful situation we had was the principle of competence, where a school psychologist spoke beyond their level of expertise and was discussing different medications and dosages in an IEP meeting. And for that, I had the participants each have a horse taking turns walking it around an obstacle and coming back with a hard-boiled egg and a spoon. And the caveat was you couldn't have the horse walk ahead of you or drop the egg. So in that dilemma where we're talking about principle of competence in that IEP meeting, whether you knew how to walk a horse or not was irrelevant. What was relevant is your locus of control, what's going on as you're doing this role play, how were you feeling at that IEP meeting with the school psychologist making an unethical move and discussing medications and dosages. Once again, we meet individually, small group, worksheet, large group conversation about what do you do in an ethical dilemma in this manner. What the horses taught the participants was giving a mirror of what their intent, their thoughts, their behavior was, because the horse was reading them. In my class, cyberbullying, coming up in April, the first activity I have is one where, cyberbullying is insidious. It's on the internet. We don't see kids being hurt and harmed this way. And I wanted them to get a feel of what that's like, instead of just discussing it, experiencing it, because this is experiential learning. So the first exercise for my cyberbullying is having the participants journal for 20 minutes, observing 2 horses in a round pen with limited amount of hay. Now, horses, like people, live in families or herds, and there's always a boss. And that boss is in charge of protection, but also in taking care of their own needs before the needs of others. And what they're going to watch is a horse bullying another horse and trying to keep it away from the food source. Very much like cyberbullying taking place for our kids, where we don't see what's going on, but we know it happens every day. And we're going to dialogue and the metaphor about what that experience is like, watching that, feeling like you can't go in there and stop it, you can't go in there and give some hay to the victim horse. You have to watch it as it's taking place and feel what that's like as it's happening to our kids, and what do we do about it. So metaphors are very powerful in this work. Locus of control is very powerful. Feelings, a sense of inadequacy is very powerful. So I wanted to give you some experiences of what I've been doing over the past year and a half with kids, and what I hope to do with school psychologists offering professional development. So anyway, thank you. I look forward to hearing from you.